everyone. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. Please like and subscribe and do all those lovely things. If you are not new here, welcome back, friends and family. So these are the yummy ingredients I'll be using today. This idea came from when I started doing some costume rings. Just going to give it a go and see how it works out, so stay tuned. So this is a small silicone mat. It's very thin, a great size for what I'm using it for today. I'm just rolling it up fairly tight. Then I'm going to slip on a couple of gold link rings. You'll see that in a moment, just here. So I'm just going to slip them over the rolled up silicone mat and just give it a hand at the ends just to unroll it just a bit and just to secure those rings into position at the size that they are. Okay, so obviously this is voiceover Natalie, and I had to just stop recording there for a second. Well, for a little while. Lawnmower going in the background, and my cat came in and decided that he'd eat some biscuits and was really, really loud. So back to it. I'm just making sure that I'm getting at the width that I want it, just fiddling around with the silicone mat and making sure that there's that it's going to be secure for me to put some UV resin into. Okay, now that I've got that at sort of the size that the width that I want it to be, you'll see in a moment that I keep on adjusting it a little bit to make sure I get it to the width, the desired width that I want for this project. It takes a little bit of fiddling around, and sometimes you need to do it a few times, but if you just take your time, they shouldn't move too much. And once you've put it under the UV light and cured it all, it's not going to move after that, so you don't have to worry too much after that. So I just thought if you watched last week's video, I did mention that I introduced myself to people who didn't know me and told you why I started this channel. Well, a little bit of why I started this channel. I am a widow, and through my grief, the only way I could get through my grief was to keep my hands and my mind busy, and I'll tell you more about that in future videos as well. But through bits and pieces through the videos that I do, I will talk to you about a little bit about my family and my history, and why essentially I wanted to help others through their grief. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, you know, like and subscribe, and I would love to have you join this little community that I'm hoping to build. So back to the video. I'm just putting on another layer of resin, and this part is to add a little bit of shine and colour. I'm going to be putting some abalone shells in this layer, and the abalone shells come in quite large pieces. All I've done here is they're very, very easy to break up into smaller pieces, and that makes them more manageable for the smaller pieces of jewellery that you can do with them. So I'll place them right around and cure that layer before we press on to the next layer. Okay, now I'm just going to, for the next layer, I'm just going to be putting on a layer of clear UV resin. And then on top of that, I'll be using some small white dried flowers. Dried flowers are really great for UV resin. Well, for both UV resin and epoxy resin. I especially like it in UV resin because I'm impatient and I like to see my creations come to life quite quickly. I'm getting a little bit better with that, so bear with me. And so I'll go right around this ring that I'm making. It's actually going to be turned into some earrings, you'll see at the end. So this is just the next layer in a couple of layers to come. And so after I've put these white flowers into the UV resin, I will cure it to secure it. Okay, this can be quite a process. I don't know whether you noticed, but I sort of do it in two parts. So one half of the ring and then the next half of the ring with each layer. The reason why I do this is just giving the resin a little bit of help, just so it doesn't make the ring too uneven. We're going to even it out with a bit of resin after we've put in all these layers, but it does help if you just do it in two parts. I mean, you could go further and do it in 3 or 4 parts, but for me, it does work out that doing it in these parts, in 2 parts, is sufficient. So I seem to disappear here just for a little bit. I left it in just so you know. We all make mistakes, and normally when I work with UV resin during the day, I cover up the UV resin when I'm not working with it or while it's curing. I didn't this time, so my resin hardened with the sunlight that's coming through my window. I work in front of a window, so I'm usually fairly good with covering up that resin, but this time I did not, so I wasted a little bit. Naughty me. So I'm just going to keep going on, and this is the next layer, and again it is dried flowers, but just small. They're just small petals of a blue flower. I would have to say that this is probably my favorite shade of blue. Um, it's not too dark and it's not too light. And this particular dried flower I think I got from Shein. And in the package, I just pulled out the flower and pulled the petals off of it. And that's what I'm using here. They have to be small enough to be able to fit in between those two rings. and although they're quite high off the ring, we will be putting another layer, couple of layers over the top of it once I've done it right the way around. As you can see, I've just quickened up a little bit because I don't want to put you through doing the whole thing like that. So yeah, so I'll just I'll be back after it's all cured there. Now it's time for the clear UV resin coat. So I'm going to put quite a few of these on just to bulk it out and also to secure the design in. Very simple. I'm going to do it in stages so that I can reduce the amount of, you know, large blobs all over the ring. And when I put it into the UV resin light, I do get a pair of tweezers on the end of the silicone mat and I just twirl it around in the UV light. It can be a little bit tedious sometimes, but it does not take long for this to cure up. It's very, very quick. So enjoy. Okay, so all those layers are done. I think put 3 layers on, I think. And now I'm just, you can see that that was very, very easy to take the silicone mat away from the inside of it. And what it did was leave like a matte finish on the inside of the ring there. I'm actually just going to cure it again now that it's out of the mat. Just gives it just a quick little extra hardening. And now I've got a plastic mat there. I'm just going to put some blue tack on and secure the ring on there. Once I took the mat out of the inside of the ring there, it left a matte finish, not a shine. And I want to be able to, for the abalone shell to be seen under all those layers. So I want it nice and shiny and clear. So I'm just going to put a layer of UV resin on the inside as well and give that a cure. And I'll be back. Okay, now that we've finished off that ring, we're going to put the earrings together. Using a textured jump ring here, I've got quite a few different sizes of these textured jump rings. It's always nice to have lots of different varieties through your work, and it makes a real difference to the end result. As you can see, I'm going to struggle here in a second to put this all together. It's been slightly difficult, and I actually had to change the size of the jump ring. I didn't put you through that process, but it was a little bit difficult and frustrating. So as you can see, I was frustrated. I'm telling you right now, I was frustrated. And it's just a journey that we all go through, I'm pretty sure. Nothing new to anyone, but in a moment here you'll see that I did eventually get it, and I'm hoping to be able to take take them outside. Hopefully I've still got some good sunlight outside. Always makes a difference when you can show your pieces in natural sunlight, the beauty of nature. And so I'll take them out there and hopefully give you some shots at the end. Yeah. And so speaking of the end, we are coming to the end of this video. I want to say a big thank you for staying with me to the very end. I appreciate you all. I love you all. And just a little reminder, if you could like the video, that would be amazing. It really helps with the algorithm, YouTube's algorithm. It helps get my videos out there a little bit more. I'm still small and still need all the help I can get. But you are wonderful, and thank you again. And I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week. Bye.